I am so sick and tired of revoking people's probations for cheating, considering how hard we work in this court to help people who are struggling with their community service work.
Let's roll, nerds. Welcome back to Time Served. The channel is going to talk so you don't have to. He does it again. Just absolutely nukes another liar committing a felony in the courtroom, and he holds nothing back on this one as he is sick and tired of these people, and she is the sacrificial lamb in this situation, and she actually has the audacity to interrupt him while he goes on his tirade.
Full hearing. I gave you a full opportunity. I listened to every word that came out of your mouth.
Lord have mercy. Check out more Judge Thacker on Time Served 2, The Dose. Like and subscribe, set your notifications to all. Let's roll, nerds.
Allegations as if they are contested. The way this will work is Ms. Matthews will testify first. You can see her up on the screen there. When she finishes testifying about each of these matters, you'll be given an opportunity to cross-examine and question her. At the end of her testimony, she may call any other witnesses she wishes. And then when she's finished, you may have an opportunity, but not an obligation, to present evidence in your defense. Do you understand how this is about to work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Matthews, you're under oath. If you would please tell me what's going on with this case.
Yes, sir. On the fees, Judge, she's made one payment of $20. She's currently in arrears $250 to the probation fees on case number 20 SR 0069. The Family Violence Intervention Program is actually a continued condition of a previous case that it was actually ordered on that case. I could get you that case number, but I do not have that readily available, Judge. And so when she came before you on a revocation on that case, you made that condition a condition of her other cases. As far as I understand, she has an outstanding balance of approximately over $700. Therefore, they're not willing to allow her to continue the classes or provide her any further documentation because of the outstanding balance. They've allowed her to do the 21 classes without making payments. So she has not been continuously going without interruption to complete that condition. On the converted community service, she actually has converted hours on both of these cases. She attempted to turn in community service by email to Officer Pope. The first email that came through to Officer Pope, the log that she attached to the email was blank. So Ms. Pope emailed her back and advised her and told her the log that you sent me back is there's no hours on it, which you can see the community service is typed by supervisor signature of E. Ingram. And then on Exhibit B, there's a different log where the hours are from earlier that year from the same organization. Once Ms. Pope saw the community service, the way it was typed on Exhibit B, it made her question the hours because if you look at the name, it's kind of typed over it. The date for March the 8th is missing a time in. We're not familiar with this organization. So Ms. Pope requested the name of the organization, the person responsible for signing off on the community service, and a phone number. Ms. Glover provided a phone number, but it was not the organization's phone number. So Ms. Pope researched the organization, contacted the organization's phone number based off of their website, and got in touch with Ms. Ingram. That is the witness here on this case. We've spoken to Ms. Ingram, and she stated that the defendant has done some community service there in the past, but she has not done any of the hours on the logs. We turned these logs into Ms. Ingram for her to review, and they do not have any record that coincides with the dates on either one of these logs. I had Officer Pope confirm with Ms. Ingram if there would be anyone else that would have the authority to sign from her organization, and she says that there is not. There is a Trudy, one lady that's involved in the community service, but that lady does not sign off on the community service. She brings it to Ms. Ingram, and Ms. Ingram signs off on the community service. She states that they do not type them up the way that the community service that Ms. Glover has turned in to us today.
All right, and let's, for procedural purposes, because I'm about to pass these down to Ms. Glover to take a look at. So the one with the community service work log that has fully filled out, typed from top to bottom, that's State's Exhibit A, is that correct?
Yes, Judge, that's correct.
All right, I'm marking that as State's Exhibit A. And then State's Exhibit B is the one that's kind of typed out, half filled out, only got a couple lines on it. Is that B?
That's correct, Judge.
And then I'll call C, the email that you referenced where Ms. Glover, Officer Pope reached out to Glover. And I guess the following emails attached to it. So I'll just call these 3 emails C. Is that fair enough? Or you want me to call them C, D, and E?
Judge, Exhibit C is perfectly fine.
Anything else you wish to testify about yourself? Let's go ahead and set aside, by the way, the family violence intervention and the fees. I think we've covered that. Moving forward, let's just talk about these false hours. Do you have anything else you want me, the allegation of false hours, excuse me. Anything else you want me to know about that?
Not at this moment, Judge.
All right. Ms. Glover, you have the right to ask Ms. Matthews questions. It's called cross-examination. If you do so, just keep your seat, lean into the mic, and ask Ms. Matthews questions that you have. Make certain you stop at the end of your question and let her answer. All right. Do you have any questions you wish to ask?
Ms. Matthews, it was not a particular question, but I was appointed by one of the employees that worked with SUIAP to help out, do arrangements with help building, painting and stuff like that. Were those appointed in the documents as well?
Just to make sure I understand the question, you're asking me if the documents that you submitted and just reviewed relate to you painting?
No. I wanted to know if that was put in the document.
If you painted something, if that was put into the document, I apologize, I don't understand the
I'm sorry,
question.
for the community service work that I have done, was that put in the documentation on the computer?
Judge, I apologize, I don't understand the question.
Okay, I think I understand it, so I'm going to translate it, and then Ms. Glover is going to tell me if I've misunderstood as well. I think what she's asking is, do you have any records of the actual work she allegedly did perform at SWEAC, S-W-E-E-A-C? Do you have any record of the actual tasks she alleges she completed?
No, I do not. The records that I have are the records that she emailed Officer Pope, and those are the records that we submitted to the court.
Did I get your question correct?
Correct.
Okay, let's ask your next question.
That's the first question, that's it.
That's all I have.
I have documentation of that right here.
All right, if you wish to testify in a minute, I'll give you that chance. Okay, Ms. Matthews, you may call your next witness.
Judge, we call Ernesta Ingram.
All right. Ms. Ingram, if you will turn your video camera on, please, and unmute yourself.
Ernesta Blackman Ingram.
And can you spell your first name for me?
E-R-N-E-S-T-A.
All right. Ms. Matthews is officially your, the person who's going to be asking you questions, so I will allow her to do that at this time.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Ingram.
Good morning.
For the record, will you state your position?
Executive Director.
At what organization?
SWEAC is the name of the organization, which stands for the Southwest Ecumenical Emergency Assistance Center.
And at the organization, do you allow community service?
Yes, we do.
If someone completes community service with your organization, who is responsible for signing off on their logs or submitting any documentations to any providers?
That would be me.
Is there anyone else at your organization that you've given permission to sign in your absence or for you?
If I'm not available, that would be Trudy Willis. Willis is her last name. Yeah, I think you had her first name. But she would if I was not available. Yes.
When
I
you
have been
Yes, ma'am. When you submit documentation, we emailed you copies of the logs that Ms. Glover sent in. Do y'all typically go in on a person's log and type in hours as the documentation on Ms. Glover's logs showed?
We have never done that. No.
How do y'all fill out a person's community service log?
It is handwritten. They give the form to me. I actually have blank forms myself that I can provide if they're missing one. And it is handwritten.
By you or signed by Ms. Willis?
By me.
Yes, ma'am. Are there any days your organization is not open?
Yes, ma'am. Those days would be Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
When you reviewed the logs that we sent you from Ms. Glover, did you notice that any of the dates on her log were those days?
Yes, ma'am. That would be 4/3, 4/6, 4/13, 4/18, 4/20, 5/7, 5/11, 5/15, 5/21, 5/23, and 5/25.
So if a person completed community service with your organization, there's absolutely no way that anyone would have been able to get any hours on any of the dates you just put on the record.
That's right. We are closed and the door is locked.
Do you have any record of Ms. Glover completing community service at your organization at all in the year of 2021?
No, I do not.
Has she ever completed community service at your organization in any other year?
You know, I heard you mention that, and I don't show record of it at all. The only time we may overlook someone, maybe that very first time they come in and they fail to sign in, because in addition to this form, there's a volunteer sign-in sheet. But the next time they come, they will sign in. So for her to say there's a consistency here or an ongoing volunteer opportunity, that is highly, highly unlikely.
And you keep records for your own organization of who comes and completes community service there, so you can refer back and you look through those logs when we asked you about the dates that Ms. Glover presented us.
Exactly.
Judge, I rest at this time.
All right, you may ask Ms. Ingram any questions you may have. Ms. Glover.
Ms. Ingram, I do have two paperworks right here along with what the judge has shown you. Your signature is on both paperworks, the initial and full last name and your first initial. Is there any way she can verify that at this time?
Yes, if you will turn on the document camera and lay it up there, I'll put it up so that you can see it.
I do not write in cursive at all.
All right, Ms. Ingram, I'm asking the bailiff to put a document on the document camera, and I'm going to, I'm going to do this over at the grid so we can see both Ms. Matthews and Ms. Ingram at the same time. There we go. All right, you ready, Mr. Taylor? All right, Ms. Ingram, tell me if you can see this. I'm about to send it up to you. Can you see that document that I put on the screen?
I can.
All right, and if you'll zoom in, I've changed the setting yesterday, so if you hit zoom now, you don't have to hit all the focus. It's right there with the plus sign on it. Can you see it? So let him zoom in, and then it'll refocus. I'm really proud of that. I fixed that yesterday.
Yes, this is definitely my signature.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is not, what I see here is It is not completely filled out. It doesn't
So-
indicate the year. But let me finish, baby. It does not indicate the year that was done, and I can't confirm that it was you.
All right, Mr. Taylor, if you'll pull that down just a little bit, I just would like to see the top of it. Okay. All right, so the witness was unable to identify this item fully. All right, Ms. Glover, do you want Mr. Taylor to put that other document up?
Both of the documents are same with back in 2019. I started in 2019, with both documentations.
Ms.
That's
Ingram,
what-
can you recognize that document, the second one? I'm gonna call that Defense Exhibit 2, the first one will be D1. I'll keep both of those, scan them in and email them out. Do you wish
Okay.
to-
What I
Let me-
can, I'm sorry. What
No,
I
that's my
can,
fault, Ms. Ingram. I was trying to say you finish and then I'm gonna put a few things on the record.
okay. What I can confirm based on this, the very last one is not me at all. That was not completed by me. That's not my writing nor my initial signature. The first two, yes. So I'm assuming that occurred in 20. I don't still have the records of 19. I didn't know I needed to go back that far. And I really wasn't concentrating on 20 because this clearly says all of this occurred in 21 when I said I had no record that she ever volunteered. So I stand corrected on that maybe in 20 and 19 she did for a few days, but outside of that, no. And this is the standard form that I use. Nothing is ever typed. But the very last one is not me.
Okay. All right. Then do you wish to tender those into the record, Ms. Glover?
Those two, yes.
All right, Ms. Matthews, any objection to me using those in my decision-making process?
No, sir, no objection. I do have a comment.
All right, we'll circle back to that then. All right, Defendants Exhibits 1 and 2. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. I'll be happy to take those. I'm marking those as they were identified as D1 and D2. Again, I will scan these and email out copies. Ms. Glover, is your email address
Humble
Jalisa
24 at gmail.com.
All right, humblejalisa24@gmail.com. All right, when I get these scanned in, I'll send out copies to you. And I'll turn over the originals to probation to hold. Okay, do you wish to ask Ms. Ingram any additional questions?
No,
All right, Ms. Matthews, before I ask my questions of Ms. Ingram, do you have any additional questions to ask?
Yes, Judge.
Go ahead.
Ms. Ingram, Ms. Glover just presented two new documentations that I have not reviewed, Officer Pope has not reviewed, and I'm assuming those are documents that we did not send you to confirm or deny. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the dates that we sent you are on the typed logged. Those are the dates in question. And now we see that she did possibly complete community service at your organization back in 2020. But the dates that we just reviewed now on the handwritten logs, those are not the same dates that we emailed you and questioned about today, correct?
That is correct. I can definitely confirm we have not seen Jalisa in 2021.
Judge, I rest.
All right, here are my questions. Ms. Ingram, is there an Edward Ingram in your organization?
No, sir.
Is SWEAC, or how do you say the short name of your organization?
You said it correctly. SWEAC, like you're sweeping. SWEAC, yes.
SWEAC. Is SWEAC, SWEEAC,
That is-
a division of the Atlanta Community Food Bank?
Yes.
Okay. Is the number 678-887-5539 associated with your organization?
No.
Okay. And you said there's nobody named Edward Ingram?
No, sir.
Okay.
Judge, if I ask a
All
question.
right, so because I've asked questions, that restarts the clock. Ms. Matthews, you get to go first, and then Ms. Glover, you get to go second. If you have any additional questions.
Judge, I don't have any additional questions.
Okay. Ms. Glover, you may ask additional questions.
This is for Ms. Ingram. Ms. Ingram, there is a tall, dark-skinned guy that works, Edward Ingram. That's the name that he gave me.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
And that's who signed off on the paperwork. Now, we worked those days, and I visited his house, attended, and did some community service work. That's who completed. Are you familiar with this guy?
There is no Edward Ingram. We have a number of tall gentlemen. And on the days, are you talking about in the year 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these dates on Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are dates that we are not in service. We're not working, not at this location. Can you tell me, am I allowed to ask a question?
No, ma'am, I'm sorry. You can pose the question and I'll take it. I mean, I'll hear your question, but you can't ask the defendant questions. But you can certainly put the question out there and we can consider it.
Okay. So that's my response to you, then Jaleesa. So I would like to pose a question for the court. I would like to know what those responsibilities were.
Okay. And if Ms. Matthews, as the questioner for the state, determines those to be proper, and if Ms. Glover chooses to provide testimony, which she is under zero obligations to do, then Ms. Matthews may choose to ask that question. Okay, Ms. Ingram?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Ms. Ingram before I mute her? And Ms. Ingram, or Ms. Matthews, anything else for Ms. Ingram?
No, Judge, not at this time.
Ms. Glover, anything else for Ms. Ingram?
Was not a question.
Okay. Ms. Ingram, I'm going to mute you. If you wish to shut off your camera, you may. You're welcome to be released and to go, or to just sit tight and listen to the remainder of the hearing, whatever you prefer. Okay, Ms. Ingram?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Ms. Matthews, you may call your next witness.
Judge Thacker, we rest.
All right, Ms. Glover, the state has rested, which means they've provided me with everything they're going to provide me on this case. You may have an opportunity at this time, but certainly not an obligation to present evidence in your defense. If you choose to remain silent, I will not hold that silence against you. If you choose to testify, however, you will testify from your seat, and you'll be cross-examined by Ms. Matthews, and I, of course, may ask follow-up questions to clarify any questions or concerns that I have. I just need to make certain that you know that if you waive it, you waive it fully. You're either all in or all out. Do you understand your options?
Yes, sir.
What do you want to do? Testify or not testify?
Testify.
Okay. By testifying, I'm going to remind you that you're under oath. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that anything you say is made under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
All right, then you can just lean into the microphone, stay in your seat, and testify to, or do you need me to move her up here? Would that be easier for you?
As long as she speaks up.
All right, so just look at me if she's not. All right, so lean into the mic really loudly and tell me what you want me to know, slow and clear. Now go.
Those dates that were provided by Edward Ingram, I can describe the guy. He's tall, gray streaks in his hair, goatee, and those are the dates that I was provided to attend at his location. I don't have my phone at this time to provide the address, but I was painting, doing yard work, and babysitting his 4 kids, which I do with my other friends who babysit. But other than that, those were the only ones that on those dates were provided. The rest of the days I did attend, but I didn't stay for long.
Okay.
But he was the one that jotted down everything,
Okay.
and I sat and watched. So he was the one that provided Edward Ingram the hours that I stayed, and everything else.
All right, let me repeat back what I think I just heard. You were supervised by an individual named Edward Ingram, who you're saying is a part of the CWAC organization, and you provided community service work to him off-site
Yes,
on the closed days.
yes,
And that's this typed E. Ingram
correct,
is Edward Ingram.
correct.
Okay. Anything else you want me to know before Ms. Matthews asks you any questions?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Matthews, you may cross-examine.
Ms. Glover, so today you presented community service from 2012, and that was Ms. Ernesta Ingram's signature on it, correct?
Correct.
So when you went back in 2021, did you ask for Ms. Ernesta Ingram to supervise your community service?
No,
Did you ask Edward Ingram if he had permission to sign your community service log?
no. He provided the service work. When we talked, he said, yeah, I'll be able to do everything and make sure you get your community service work. So I was under the impression that Edward Ingram was part of SUYAC. I haven't been with SUYAC too long to know, the ins and outs of who's supposed to sign what and what's supposed to be signed.
When you completed the community service in 2020, did Edward Ingram ever supervise you then?
No, I never seen him then.
In 2020, did you ever leave the organization's location and go outside and complete community service?
No, I went
So in
straight.
2021, when Edward Ingram allegedly gave permission or states that he has authority, it never raised any red flags when you left the organization's location that he may not have the authority to sign your community service law.
Not with me, ma'am, no.
When you completed this community service with Edward Ingram, were there any other community service workers with you?
No.
Judge, I rest.
All right. Ms. Glover, anything else you want me to know before you rest?
No, sir.
All
That's
right.
it.
You rest at this point.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Matthews, any rebuttal?
No, sir.
All right, the evidence is closed. Okay. I have heard everything I need to make a decision on this case. I'm ready to issue my decision. I have received a record, and I will keep State's Exhibit A, State's Exhibit B, and State's Exhibit C. I will scan these in at the conclusion of the meeting and email out copies to everyone. I have an email address, and I will include Ms. Glover in it as she's representing herself. I'm also in possession of Defense Exhibit 1, Defense Exhibit 2. I will scan these in and email them out. Ms. Matthews, I will deliver the original to you for safekeeping, and I will ask you to keep these for a period of 1 year in the file. My decision on this matter is as follows. As to the Family Violence Intervention Program, and as to the failure to pay fees, I'm actually not going to make a decision on that. I don't think that is necessary, as what I'm about to do is rendering the rest of it to be moot. Ms. Glover, what I've heard today is deeply, deeply troubling. We have heard from Mrs. Ingram, who is the head of SWEAC, SWEEAC. You provided me in Defense Exhibit 1 with an almost appropriately filled out community service work that Ms. Ingram identified as her own signature. But then you provided me with D2, which Ms. Ingram also looked at over the virtual system, and she said that is not her filling it out. So even in your own defense, you've provided me with a false document in an effort to prove your case. In the matter at hand, so I just state those two as context. In the matter at hand, though, I am looking at two forms, both of which are 100% typed. State's Exhibit A is a fully typed, all cap, not fully filled out document that has 0 original signatures on it, 0 handwriting, and was clearly either printed or typed on a typewriter. All of the individual who is on all lines is E. Ingram. Testified today was Miss Ingram. She testified that her first name starts with an E and her last name is Ingram. I questioned her and asked her whether or not there was an Edward Ingram associated with her organization, and she said no. She also said that several of these dates are not available for community service work because the location is closed. Ms. Glover has successfully completed community service work with the organization previously, which means she knew exactly how this was supposed to work, who she was supposed to contact, and the steps she was supposed to take. I find for the record that Ms. Ingram waived her right to remain silent, chose to testify and present evidence, and failed to call a Mr. Edward Ingram to provide me with confirmation that A, he exists, and B, he was legitimately believing to be both a member of CWAC, which I find not without merit, to be without merit, and a signer to be without merit. So I'm going to find that there is a sufficient amount of evidence, Ms. Glover, for me to find by a preponderance of the evidence that you have intentionally, willfully, and knowingly provided me with false community service work hours. This is a felony in the state of Georgia, as it is a false statement to a governmental agency. Therefore, I will respond as if you have committed a felony, and the decision of the court is as follows. Both of your cases are concurrent. Yep, both of your cases are concurrent, and I'm going to put that after a contested hearing, that I am revoking the absolute balance of every single day available to me. I am so sick and tired of revoking people's probations for cheating, considering how hard we work in this court to help people who are struggling with their community service work. So instead of asking us for help, do not interrupt me, Ms. Glover. I gave you a full hearing. I gave you a full opportunity. I listened to every word that came out of your mouth. I looked at every document, and this is not your hearing, Ms. Glover. It is my hearing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do not interrupt me again. Do you understand me?
My apologies.
I gave you your hearing. I weighed this carefully. I did not rush to judgment. This is my courtroom, not yours.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Glover, I am revoking every day available to me of 196 days. You will serve the entire balance of that in the Spalding County Jail. I am closing these cases, and let this be yet one more warning to anyone who decides they think they should cheat on their community service work, that I will respond with the fullest extent of my abilities. You may go with the deputies. You have 30 days from today if you want to appeal this decision.
I didn't even know. Posted.
All right, everybody's going to want me to take a break right now. I'm going to do this young man's permit order. I'll be back on the bench at 10:30, and we'll finish up this calendar.